Good afternoon to everybody on our leadership teams that are joining us for this live broadcast webinar this afternoon. I really appreciate that you decided to come on board, and sorry for the short notice, but we felt that we wanted to just encourage you guys for spring and September that's coming up to help you grow your chapters. Traditionally, September is always a very, very good month for the growth of chapters, and we all know why we want to grow our chapters, because more members around the table means exponentially more referrals for everybody. And so traditionally we've seen in our stats that September month is always a good month to grow your chapter. If I have to guess why that is, I would say that it's because the sun gets up earlier and people are more eager to get up, and spring means new life and all of that. And so that's why we are focusing on spring, and people get out of bed and they come to our chapters. And then if you wait too long, September, October is very good, but November, although people still become part of your chapter, they sort of got this New Year fever. They we'll do it in the new year. So capitalize on, especially in September and maybe even in October, to grow your chapters. And new leadership teams are taking over on the 1st of October, so it's a great month for the current leadership teams to come in and hand over a strong chapter to the new leadership team taking over from you. So before I continue further on why we need to grow our chapters, I'd just like to welcome Jeremy and give him a minute just to say hi to everybody. Jeremy?
Hi, everybody. You want more than just hi.
All right. Jeremy is on board as well, and he'll be speaking to us a little bit later. Okay, so we now know that it's important to grow our chapters. We know that September is traditionally always a good month for growing chapters, and we can just speculate on the reasons for that, but it is a good month. So if you've planned visitors' days for September, that's great. Go with those visitors' days, flow with that. If you haven't planned anything for this September, Jeremy will be speaking on how to actually use your top 10 list to actually grow your chapter. But what I want to now get into is, as part of this idea of growing your chapter, get your whole leadership team focused on this idea. Start off with your educational coordinator over the next 4 weeks and teach the guys on how to invite. One of the problems that we're still picking up is people don't know how to invite, and we've given out the grip on inviting, and I'm just going to run through the grip again. So those of you who are not sure about the grip, just write it down, the acronym GRIP, G-R-I-P. And if you teach, you get your educational coordinators to teach on the grip on how to invite people to your chapter, it's easy to invite. As easy as this. Jeremy, would you like to grow your business? He's going to come in, obviously, he's going to say, yes, obviously I would like to grow my business. Well, would referrals help you to grow your business? And we know that all businesses work on referrals. So yes, referrals will definitely help me to grow my business. If I were to invite you to a group of people that would give you these referrals, would you be interested in meeting them? Yeah, sure, I would love to meet them. And then P is place. Well, we meet at, and you state the day that you meet, and you say, can I reserve a seat for you at our next meeting? And then make sure to actually send out that email with the details, and then follow the email up with a telephone call. Just an email is not going to do it. Did you receive my email? Great, thank you for receiving my email. I've reserved the seat for you. Maybe a call later on again to say, listen, remember tomorrow morning we got our meeting. So please get your educational coordinators this week to focus on the grip. What I'll do is I'll ask Vanda to send out a copy of the grip to every single educational coordinator this afternoon, so that they will have it on hand to actually teach on the grip this week. And that will help you then to capitalize on September. And I can't stress this enough. September is the best month to grow your chapter. So capitalize this month on growing your chapter, and focus your whole chapter on inviting. I'm now going to hand over to Jeremy, and I'm going to ask him to come in and teach a little bit on how to use your top 10 list to grow your chapter, and how to use your contact sphere to actually make sure that those people arrive. Thank you. Over to you, Jeremy.
All right, guys. One thing we have in our chapters at the moment is most of us have those goal charts, and the problem is we've got that top 10 list on the goal chart, but how many of us are actually using it? How many of us actually? I mean, go back to your goals chart and see how many of you have had the same professions on that chart for a while now, and you're not moving anywhere. So it's the last push, this last little bit that we really want to do something with. So a good way of doing it is pick the top 3. Working on the top 3, your builder, your architect, and your if you have a landscaper. Let's put those 3 on the top. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to every member specifically and say to them, which one of these 3 are you going to pick this week? So the thing is that the reason why a lot of times these goal charts are not doing anything is because there's somebody sitting there and we're not making people accountable. So what we want to look at doing is saying, go around, so whether it's your growth coordinator or your membership committee person, go around to each individual person and say, who are you inviting this week? So it's a case of, are you inviting the landscaper, the architect, or the builder? And go to each individual person. Get each individual person to commit to answering one of those, asking one of those 3 professions. And even better, if you've got the time, try and get a name. Try and get them to say specifically, I'm inviting this particular architect. Now, sometimes people say, what happens if I get 2 people asking the same architect? Fantastic, even better. Because that architect then knows that it's a credible source. So it's really, really important that you get the people to commit to wanting to, to doing this, to inviting specific people. So you want to, each week, now, some chapters are going to have more weeks, some chapters are going to have less. For instance, Masters in Phoenix are going to have 5 weeks in September. Now, obviously what's going to happen is you're going to have to start asking from next week. So you're going to set this goal of how many of these top 10 you are going to try and finish off, set this goal of how many you're going to finish off in the last month. Now, looking at the figures, you're going to probably find that if you can invite 3 of the top 10, focus, what sometimes we call stack-a-days or focus inviting, focus on 3 of them and try and close 1 of them. Now, is it possible you close more? Well, I'd like to say you can close all 3, but I don't think it's particularly realistic. If we can close 1 of those every week, Masters, you should be sitting on 4 new members at the end of September, pretty much everyone else 3 new members. So the challenge out there is who's going to be able to close off the most amount of those top 10 professions in the last bit of September. And it's really all about getting the members to commit to a specific profession. And that's what we have. If we have, if you have 2 or 3 architects or 2 landscapers all there, your presidents, you're then going to focus on that locking out the competition segment, where you're going to you can use it word for word. It's written down in your leadership team manual, working on the lock out your profession. And the natural thing is people don't want their competition to be in. So the idea is to try and close off a minimum of 1 profession per week. Okay. But it's all about that accountability, all about going around specifically, take that top 10 chart, go around the top 3, then the following week go around on the next 3, okay, to try and close off in the last month. That's it. Paul?
Thank you very much, Jeremy, and make sure that the contact spheres follow up on those professions. So if the builder was invited, to get the architect in your chapter to give him a call, say, I'm so glad to hear that you're coming through, because I think we can refer a lot of business, and I'd like to see you back or meet you this coming week at our chapter, and that will definitely excite the person to be there, because the architect is meeting on the following week. Also, very important, guys, is to keep people accountable. So if they say they're going to invite an architect, remind them, use your WhatsApp groups and email or something, and say, guys, please remember, you have said that you're going to invite an architect this week. Don't wait till the day before the meeting. Have you done it? Get it done. So keep that communication to all the chapter members open and remind them constantly, because what happens sometimes is we walk out of our meeting and we only think about, oh, I was supposed to invite somebody the evening before. So leadership teams keep on speaking to the guys in the chapter during these weeks of September and say, come on guys, let's see if we can actually close all 10 of these. That's our aim. And by the end, if we can close one of those professions every week, and you can have 3 people off your top 10 list or 4 people off your top 10 list, your chapter has done well. So please capitalize on September. If you've got those visitors days, I know, for instance, in Tauri, High Performance Chapter, they've got visitors days planned. Great month to have a visitors day and grow your chapter through that. Guys, thank you so much for tuning into this webinar. I'm just going to bring Jeremy back on it, if just make sure he doesn't have something he wants to add. And then, well, we're done. So we're excited to help you and see that you grow your chapter this September.
Guys, the bottom line is does any, looking on the chat side, somebody's asking for is there a sample email we can distribute for inviting? Different chapters have different emails, but the important thing about the email, and it doesn't matter what email you use, Stephen, what's really important is the follow-up. I had a lady yesterday ask me if, she seems to be inviting lots and lots of people, nobody seems to be coming. And the question is she following up? Is she phoning up people and saying, it's a simple phone call. You phone up and you don't say to them, are you coming? You simply phone up and say, listen, I sent you an email. Did you get it? What's it about? Well, I sent you an email about a trusted business organization that I really think your business can benefit from. Did you get it? If not, can I send it again? And it's really important to follow with that phone call, because we're getting so many emails nowadays. A lot of the time it's just getting lost. So people tend to just delete a lot of stuff. They don't realize that this doesn't come off a list. This has actually been directly addressed to them. So, Stephen, we can. There are 1 or 2 chapters that does have. Paul, let's just check if we've got a standard template for inviting. But it is the opportunity. Once you've sent off that email and you've made the first phone call, again a day later, you phone again and say, did you get my email this time? And then you work on the grip. You work on using the grip straight away from there. And this is your educational coordinators. That's how you're going to teach people to invite people to the chapter. So, Stephen, I know it's not exactly what you want to hear. You want to think we'll have to see if we can find a stock standard sample. Some masters chapter have a template, an actual PDF that has the map on where the thing is. So you'd have to try and find. We'll have to try and find one for you. I'm not sure if there are any other questions. I don't see anybody else putting up their hand. I don't see anybody else asking specific questions.
Jeremy, I just want to get in here. There is a standard email that you can use, and what you can use is actually your BNI Connect to invite somebody, and we'll send them a standard email from you. I just want to see quickly here if I can share my screen, and I will show you how that works. So I'm going to share my screen there. Let's just see if this works. Come on, what's happening here? That doesn't look too good. Jeremy, can you see my desktop, my BNI Connect?
Yeah.
All right. So if you go to Operations, Chapter, and then Mass Email, there is one that says Email Prospect.
There.
That's not the right one. Chapter, region. Okay. Chapter. If you just find it quick.
It was.
Mass email. Email visitor invitation. There we go. I wasn't reading. Email visitor invitation. You click on that, and what you do is you fill in these names. person's email address. I'm going to put mine so I can show you what it looks like. And a personalized message. Hi, it was great meeting you. And whatever you say there will be at the top of your email. And all you have to do is now send it. This will then send an email to your visitor, and if he replies, you will receive the reply. And that's a stock standard. Let's just see if I can quickly get that email, if it's coming in, and I'll show you what it looks like. It's maybe a bit quick. Let's just, hopefully it will be there soon. Come on. No, not yet.
Okay, just while it does it, just Liesl just made a comment to just say that although you have the email and sends out the template, it doesn't include the breakfast cost for your seating fee. So please make a note when you are putting your when you're putting the details down, the comments you want in that comment section, you just add in your breakfast.
Okay, I don't know how long it's going to take before it's in my inbox, but send your own, send it to yourself and see what it looks like. And what it will do, it will actually send the information on which day the chapter meets, where you meet, your address, what BNI is about. It's got the BNI artwork and everything at the top for you. Unfortunately, this thing gets sent from the system and might take a minute or two before it's on my desktop. So what you need to do is just send it to yourself. So just to tell you again, you go to operations, to your chapter, you mass email and email visitor information. You fill in the information and it will send out an email to that person. And if you've got a personal message, it was great meeting you yesterday, here with the invite that I promised you, and it will automatically put in all your chapter details that the person needs to know to get to the chapter for you. Just want to test it one more time to see if it's in my inbox now. Looks like something's coming in. Hopefully we are there. Let's just see. And no such luck. It might take a minute or two still to come. So there, Stephen, I hope that helps. That gives you then everything that you need to actually send out a standard email. So as easy as that, use your BNI Connect. Right.
Paul, Renata wants to know if they can use the invitation that's in the Visitors Day manual as a template.
Yes, they are obviously welcome to use that to invite people to their Visitors Day, and they can also use the system's email if they wish to do that.
And Stephen asks, Stephen, as far as I know, it is correct. The email function is available to all members, not just the members of the leadership team. It is a function that anybody can use to send, if I'm not mistaken, to a prospect.
You are right. It is available to everybody.
Okay, Stephen, the thing is, you also say, you get feedback, I'm interested, tell me more. Be very careful of this. This is where you use grip, because you try and explain to somebody the meeting, and the bottom line is that the meeting sells itself 99% of the time. You either oversell it, in which case people are, you've got to, I've got to come every morning, I've got to come at 7 o'clock in the morning, I've got to bring referrals. So you've got to be very careful about overselling the meeting. And a lot of times people have a very skewed perception of what they're coming to. A lot of times people have been to other networking events where they've been left to stand alone in the room. Hopefully your chapters are not doing that. Your visitor hosts are taking people, making them welcome. So the idea is to really get them to the meeting, and that's where that grip is so important. In terms of tell me more, be careful about overselling it, because you tend to find a lot of times without actually seeing what's happening, people tend to sort of get put off straight away.
All right.
That's it.
That's it. Guys, thank you very much. Be excited about September. If you're going to serve on your leadership team again, please remember that on the 20th is leadership team training. It's a Saturday. It's going to run from 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. It's going to be a jam-packed day with great activities, and it's going to be a fun day. So we're looking forward to see you on that day. But as soon as the leadership teams are finalized, we'll send out all the information on where it's going to be and what you need to bring, etc., etc. So, guys, but thank you very much for being on our webinar today. We appreciate it, and we are done in 21 minutes, which is great. And Jeremy, thank you for your input today as well. Much appreciated.
Goodbye. No problem. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.